Good morning. My name is Amal Nirgodkar. I'm the CEO of Patient Prism. And it's an honor and delight to welcome my good friend Jake Puhl from the Dentist Entrepreneur Organization to our makeshift studios here at the DICOMA DSO conference. Um, Jake, I am in love with the DEO. I've been there 3 years in a row. It is the most powerful mastermind of doctor entrepreneurs, dentist entrepreneurs who are really trying to build DSOs of the future. And I don't think any organization has done more work in this space than you guys have in really getting the doctors in the mindset of being a DSO, in the mindset for growth and having that. And you've done the most amount of behavior change in these doctors and converting them clinicians to entrepreneurs. Congratulations
Thank you.
for that. And this session, we could talk about many things because we have hundreds of things in common. One of the things that you guys do really, really well, which I have been a part of as well as a non-DSO guy, is your masterminds. And some amazing discussions come up as part of these masterminds. So talk to us a little bit about what do you do with these?
Yeah. First of all, I think we need to talk about something a little more important, Amal, which is this amazing setup you have,
Thank you.
and how you just keep doing better and better every time we have an
Thank
event. It's just incredible. I feel like I'm at an NBA post game conference here. It's amazing. So, and also commending you really for getting this content out to people, because there's so much really amazing information, but it lives kind of in these events and it lives in the real life. And you taking it out to people virtually is pretty incredible. So masterminds, right? Within our organization, we do a lot of education, a lot of training, a lot of different subjects. All the subjects that a growing DSO would run into, like
Sure.
how do you set up a doctor ownership program? What are the KPIs you need to be looking at? How do you find financing? How do you hire? Do you hire inside of dental, outside of dental? Do you bring in healthcare people? All these things that are very nuts and bolty, along with how do you be a better person, right?
Right.
How do you elevate your leadership, and how do you how do you create an organization where people want to work for you? How do you be a person as an entrepreneur that people want to
Right.
work for?
Right.
And my experience has been, I believe that one of the best ways to figure all of that out and really level up yourself is to be around amazing people.
Absolutely.
And something incredible happens. And that's, we can talk about the specific subjects, but that's the nature behind what we call, masterminding, or other folks call mastermind. But surrounding yourself with incredible people who have been where you want to go, and learning from their pitfalls, from their mistakes, their best practices, so you can save yourself time and stress.
One of the things I love about those mastermind sessions that I've been part of is that people are open about their stories and they're very open about their failures, because there's nothing better than learning from somebody else's failure than your own. And it's so important that you make that available, that environment, that safe environment available to discuss your own vulnerabilities and bring out solutions, because when your peers tell you what to do and you facilitate that conversation with your peers, you're more likely to implement something than just going to a conference and getting the speaker and hearing that for 2 hours and going back to your office and doing nothing.
That's right. I mean, there's a lot of things that are happening in the industry. A lot of, there's partnerships that are dissolving. There's businesses that dissolve. I mean, it's not always rosy and green, and there's a lot to learn from those stories. And so, yeah, how do you get around? No one's going to get on stage and say that stuff, right?
Right.
So how do we create an environment where peers are sharing those stories with each other? And that's one of my favorite things to do is create those environments. So I can give you a couple examples. Just yesterday, we got on a call, and here's some of the questions that people ask each other. Obviously what multiples going around these days, but okay, you have an employee, and this is one you probably come across as an entrepreneur. How do you know when they want to raise? How do you know how far to give them a raise? How often to keep increasing their pay before you decide it's time that it's not okay?
Right.
It's a business question that you gotta.
Oh, absolutely.
No one's gonna talk about that on stage, and we spent 20 minutes talking with through that with somebody.
And that's what it is. It's the practical guidance people need, right? I mean, the big management concepts are great. We can all learn reading books, but the real true war stories is what they get discussed at these DEO events, right? What do you do? How do you solve this problem?
That's right.
And then you facilitate and moderate that so well that even I attend some of these things. Although I don't have a dental organization, I attend just because to learn the business of doing this. There's amazing successful entrepreneurs you guys have nurtured and cultivated in this space, and you've learned from them and you've shared that knowledge with others. There's an event coming up, right? You guys are, I think, doing an event together with the ADSO.
Yes.
in October. Tell us that. Tell us about
The
that.
end of September, actually, in Orlando. So we've been fortunate enough to partner with the ADSO. We're helping them kind of get the word out, and they've got created an incredible event in Orlando at the end of September,
Okay.
where they're actually doing something cool. They're going to bring a bunch of panels in, you know, like for example, clinical directors at some of these larger DSOs, so people can learn not just from the entrepreneur, but from their teams, which
Right.
is a missing piece. So that's very, very cool. Very excited about that. September, end of September in Orlando, and then we're coming back to Orlando with our event,
Right.
the DEO's event in the 7th through 9th
Okay.
in Orlando as well at the Ritz, and we're going to talk about growth through startups and growth through acquisitions. We're going to compare and contrast that, the things you need to know, and we got some cool stories up there that people probably haven't heard before that we're looking forward to.
It is so. The topics are so relevant, right? Because every group practice today has a few options going about, right? Either you can acquire more practices, or you can grow organically, and there's lots of ideas around it, and there's equal amount of people that have succeeded and failed in both directions.
Exactly right.
And I think if you guys do register for this event, you're going to hear these stories, right? How do you go about registering? I mean, where do you go to register for your event in October?
So DEOdentalgroup.com is the website, but I want to share with you, Amal, what I believe people need to do to figure those things out for themselves. And
Sure.
I think I've mentioned this recently, but there's a book called Principles by Ray Dalio.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, it's one of your favorite books. And in that book, he talks about how to make decisions when people are saying different things. And he gives a story about when he was sick with cancer, and he had to went to 5 different doctors. 5 doctors said 5 different things. And the answer is you have to triangulate all of those opinions, match it up with your own opinion, and then come up with your own conclusion. And that the only way to do that is to be surrounded by all these resources. So that's what I get excited about, is surrounding people with perspectives so they can triangulate their own decisions about whether to acquire a de novo, or how should my doctor ownership plan, or what numbers should I be driving, and all those types of things.
And it's really important to have varying opinions, because sometimes just if you surround yourself with just one set of opinions, then you kind of get used to that you get stuck in that cycle, right? Dalio talks about this a lot, right? He makes all his people vote on the validity of the opinion, and everybody votes in that little
Believability.
quotient, and
Yeah.
and that's what you guys really do over there, right? So everybody's opinion matters. They all say the things, and you take all those opinions, and then you drive your own. But what it does, it gives you all these differing perspectives that sometimes when you surround yourself in your organization with people that are just say yes to everything you say, you don't get that radical candor.
No, you're making a decision in a silo, which is the number one thing not to do as a leader, is operate in a silo. So yeah, a lot of really, really amazing stuff. And again, thank you, Amal, for everything that you're doing to get all this great information out. You do a lot of hard work to do that, and it's very cool. I love it.
It is, and you guys have made me better over the years. I mean, it has been such an incredible. The 2 weeks ago in Phoenix, the show gets better every year. Amazing speakers. I really encourage our listeners. If you haven't been to a DEO event, I would start by going to the first one in Orlando. Go to DEOdentalgroup.com, register, and feel for yourself the excitement and the energy that these guys create in dentistry. It's never seen before. I don't see it, and I really appreciate what you guys are doing. You're over 120 groups today. It's the largest of its kind, this program you have, and you're growing.
And what I'm most proud of is we're agnostic. You know, we're not taking any. You know, we're just putting amazing people into a room together, and that's what we do. That's what we spend our time doing. So very fun.
It is a pleasure always talking to you, and I continue to be inspired by you, by my good friend Darren, who's your partner there. Thank you so much for supporting us in our efforts to get our message out, and we'll look forward to seeing you soon.
All right, thanks, Amal.
Thanks, Jake.
Good stuff.